Welcome back to the Cover Action Report for some more honest comic book reviews. I'll be taking a look at Sabretooth, The Dead Don't Talk #1, a mini-series, I take it. And it's out from Marvel with Frank Tieri and Michael Star Maria. So, Sabretooth is currently dead in the Marvel U. So I'm guessing this story happens after that. Judging by Wolverine in a bar drinking to a somewhat funeral, as he puts it, or the death of somebody. So I'm guessing he's sitting there reminiscing about Sabretooth, his old frenemy, let's call him. Okay, we get this little few pages of some Gen Xer, or Gen Zer rather, coming in, shooting a video, being disrespectful, who gets thrown out. Wolverine's not in the mood. He's just not in the mood. He's sitting there and he's trying to, I don't know, mull over his whiskey and think about the past and not be bothered by anybody. So, true to his nature, there's an old man there who offers him a drink and he doesn't really want to have a drink with him. But as it's the good stuff, he decides, yeah, I'll take one of those whiskeys. And they start chatting. And while they start chatting, some of the pictures in this old bar, and this old bar has been here a very, very long time, he notices some photographs from the past where he sees good old Sabretooth, or as the old man says, Mad Dog Murphy. So maybe this is a bit of past of Sabretooth that old Wolvie didn't know about. And he says, I tell you what, you keep pouring that good whiskey, you tell me the story. So we go back to 1909, Ravencroft, which is like some asylum. And we find out that Sabretooth is actually working as one of the orderlies there. And of course, he's up to no good, of course, because he's Sabretooth. I think this is Wolverine here. Yeah, Wolverine gets wheeled in at some point. And of course, they start fighting. But Wolverine bests him. And this makes him angry. He doesn't like to lose. But he's taking one of these lifeless bodies downstairs to a secret lab where we find none other than Nathaniel Essex, or Dr. Sinister, who's like a Victorian villain and current villain. But he's from the Victorian times, so it fits in place that he would be there. So he's doing all these experiments on patients that have died, and he's being brought in a new one who's hung himself. And Sabretooth's still a bit raw from being beaten from his fight with Wolverine. And Mr. Sinister says, listen, I don't need you moping around, all right? If you carry on like this weird creature here, Fritz, is going to be a replacement, which again, it pisses him off because he doesn't like it. Anyway, he goes out and he's moaning to himself. And one of the other patients, Fiskov, or as he calls himself, Fisk, because he's Americanized his name, maybe he's a descendant of good old Wilson Fisk, I'm sure we'll find out, says, listen, all right, I'm a gang leader out there. And this other guy, he's taken over my gang while I've been locked up in this mental asylum. You help me get out, I'll give you a job, you know? We can rule the city together. And he says, all right, let's go for it. So they do that. And on his way out, Sabretooth quite clearly lets his former boss, Mr. Sinister, know that he's handed his resignation in. So there's some bloody scenes here. I quit, and blood written over the wall. He's killed poor old Fritz. What did he ever do? And he's beheaded some of the other people on the way out. But Mr. Sinister, of course, is not going to let that slide. So that's going to come back to haunt him. So we then jump back to this dude who's taken over Fisk's crime family, let's say, one of the 5 Point gangs. And he's fighting a bear. To show us how tough he is, he's knocked the bear clean out. However, Mr. Old Sabretooth's turned up and he's about to take back that gang to help old Fisk here, and just cuts his head off with his claws. And that's where it ends. Now, I wasn't sure what to expect from it. I wasn't in love with the art. I'm not sure if we're going to get another one of those sort of phoned in stories where it's all about showing how badass Sabretooth is, or if we're going to get a sort of more deep, meaningful story. But we are only on issue 1 and it seems okay. But it hasn't given me enough to know whether or not this is going to be a good book, but I will give it a try in issue 2. But all in all, it's okay. It's not much more than okay. Let me know what you think. Those are my thoughts, and hopefully we'll catch you in the next one.